Okay, perfect. Well, as many of you know, the TRW Lounge, I don't come with anything set to talk about. So basically, I leave that up to all of you as far as different things, as whether it's doing something with a fundraiser or trying to get into different schools or different pricing techniques or things like that. So what we do with the lounge is basically I just come in here, I sit down with you guys, I get to know you and try to help your business in any way that I can. So as many of you know, I was in the same position all of you were in not too long ago, to where we just had a finished product side of the business. So the great thing about that is I know what every one of you go through every single day as far as your pricing and things like that. And that's why we try to provide videos like this and try to give you a real life experience as far as what you're actually doing as well. So we started out, my wife and I started out of just one of our bedrooms, moved to a loft, moved to a garage, moved to a very small office, and just kind of expanded from there. So the great thing is I know everything that you guys are doing right now, and I've basically tried to teach myself different ways because there wasn't a whole lot of instruction and trainings and everything out there when I was starting. So that's why my goal is to provide you guys with as much training as possible, teach you at least what I know and what I've learned through the entire process as much as possible to make your business more successful. And like I always say, the more successful every single one of you are, the more successful TRW is as well. Okay? Okay, so real quickly, just to get an idea of what we have in here as far as customer-wise, how many of you in here currently already have everything as far as you already have your heat press, your vinyl cutter, you're up and running and already have your business going as far as making shirts, car decals, everything else? Is everybody in here pretty much already dove in and you're already doing everything? Yes, because I know we want to provide for people that are also just looking to get into the business. So just so you can say, hey, is this a good investment for me? Is this something that's going to work, something I can make some money in? So awesome. I see a big, basically, most of you in here already have everything and just dove in and want to get going. Some of you are looking into it, and that's awesome. That's what we're here for. Okay, so just let me know. Start throwing some questions at me as far as different things that you have. I have some different items on the desk here that I'll kind of go over with you as far as a lot of questions that we get over time. And that way I can try to help you as far as what's going on. So in the lounge here, we don't actually go through like actually heat pressing anything or actually cutting with our vinyl cutter here. This is more of just a question answer, knowledge based type thing with the lounge. Very laid back atmosphere and be able to come in and just ask questions, okay? Was there a recent update on the software? Yes, there definitely was, Diane. So if you currently own the TRW Stone Wizard version 2, there was an update to 2.1. So very cool. If you come by at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, we just sent out the webinar about that. It was actually a webinar we did the other day on Tuesday, and we had way too many people in the webinar, which is a good thing, and that's why we upped our service. So now we can have up to 500 of you in there. I know a lot of people weren't able to get in because we hit our 100 max in that one, but 3 p.m. Eastern time today, it's going to be me using Corel Draw and the TRW Stone Wizard, creating some pretty awesome designs. And those of you who are in our Crafting with Rhinestones and Vinyl page or the Rhinestone World Facebook page, you've seen a lot of the images everybody's been posting. If you come to the 3 p.m. webinar, you also get a Wrestling Mom design for free, a design download. So if you come to the live webinar, you'll get that design for free as well. So 2.1, you'll definitely be able to just go to your order history. You'll see a new link there to be able to download the 2.1. Again, we added some awesome features with the magic envelopes, the refresh, a reverse magic trap, things like that. But we thought, you know what? We don't want to charge you more for it. Yes, we could have said, hey, this is a $15, a $20 upgrade, and you can upgrade for $20 on the website. But you know what? Again, we want to help your business. Yes, it took us time to get all those features created and get them into the wizard. But again, it's going to help your business. Eventually, we will have a major upgrade where it's going to have a lot of different features. But we wanted to get these to you right away because we think it's going to help you. We didn't want you to have to wait another 4 or 6 months or whatever until we have another big upgrade. Okay? So, now I see a lot of questions are coming through pretty quickly, so I know I'm missing some of them. You'll see me looking up here to the right side. We have a big screen here with all the questions. I'm outgrowing my silhouette. My budget is limited. What's the next step cutter you recommend? Sharon asked that question. Normally, your next step from the silhouette is budget-wise, like you're saying, Sharon, your budget's limited, is to upgrade to the 24-inch GCC Expert 24. So there's normally a big difference from going to the silhouette of $269 to the Expert 24 that's for $495, and then your next step from there is, for example, the next lowest that we offer is the GCC Puma, which is I think right around $1,200. So you're $500 to $1,200, and then your next step after that, you're getting into the Rollins and the Graftex and the GCC Jaguar. Okay, so those are basically your steps along the process. If you are outgrowing that silhouette cameo, your next step budget-wise would probably be your GCC Expert 24-inch cutter, but it does have a stepper motor versus the servo motor, not as long of a warranty. So again, you're getting a $500 price point compared to a $1,700, $1,800 price point with some of your other cutters. So I hope that helps you out with that. But if you have any more questions on that, Sharon, of course, you can give a call to the office. We have some different videos of all the different cutters so you can kind of see what they do. If you had the budget, I would always recommend looking into the Roland GX24, the Graftex CE 6060, or the GCC Jaguar, because that's where you're going to get your 2-year warranties, your servo motors. But again, you need to do what's best for your business budget-wise. Okay? Because eventually you're going to have that Expert 24 and you're going to outgrow that and then graduate to one of these. And having 2 or 3 cutters isn't normally a bad thing, because you can obviously triple your actual production time as far as, hey, when you graduate to the Expert 24, let's get that silhouette cutting some car decals like this one right here. Your silhouette does all your car decals or smaller designs, and then your Expert 24 with your 24-inch space is doing your bigger projects. Okay? I'm not making the money I would like to make, so what would you suggest to get contact with schools? Okay, Keish Moore asked that. So what I would recommend is the main thing, sometimes the hardest thing to do is get into the different schools or leagues, as most of you know. So to get into those schools and league, this is the philosophy I took. Is I was an ex-baseball coach and high school teacher, so I know what it's like, and I know how hard it can be sometimes to get into the schools, and they'll go out and they'll get different bids from different places. So there's a couple different ways around that. One thing that I always like to do is, instead of going to the PTO or to the actual principal of the school or different things, I would find different actual sports or organizations inside of the school, because then you don't have to get into the going through all the budget stuff and getting all these different quotes from different places, and it's kind of, you can skip through some of the hoops. So what I would do is I would maybe go to just the baseball coach or just the cheerleading coach, or a set, maybe it's just the band or the SGA type thing, something like that, for the student government, and say, hey, this is what we can do. We can do a fundraiser for you guys. You can get it out to the school. You can get it out to all the different students, things like that. And that's normally an easier way to get in with one of the schools. Another very easy way is this right here with the vinyl decals. Okay, so your margins and stuff on your rhinestone shirts and your heat transfer shirts are great, but your margins on your sign vinyl is ridiculous. Okay, so I know many of you have seen me say this before, and I know it's hard to see because it has the white backing, but This right here, you can see Blues Hockey number 77. It's this same design in our white intermediate sign vinyl. Okay, so to get into all of your different youth organizations and your baseball leagues and your schools and everything else, this is your free ticket in. And the reason why I say it's your free ticket in is because, and I know many of you have been to different webinars that I have, intermediate sign vinyl, buying it at a decent price or a decent quantity, how much would you sell this vinyl decal for? It goes to the back window of a car. How much would you sell this for? Everybody give me what you think you would sell something like this for. I'm seeing $10, $12, $15, $10, $8, $12, $10. Okay, so everybody's good. You're all good as far as where you're at price-wise. That's awesome. And now I know everybody's heard me say it. What's my actual cost in sign vinyl and my transfer tape? So this is my transfer tape. What's my cost in transfer tape and sign vinyl? Okay, I'm seeing, now that's good because I'm seeing some of you haven't been. Some of you are saying 60 cents, 70 cents, $1, 80 cents. And now I'm seeing some of you that have been to some of our webinars before. Perfect, 17 cents, 14 cents. So the sign vinyl plus the amount of transfer tape that you use, you're normally going to be right around 17 cents in cost for this. So, I mean, it's not very hard. Do the math. Sell it for $10, cost 17 cents, of course, plus your time. But if you have a 24-inch cutter, it's 5 inches. You can cut 4 across at a time. Let's say 4 across and 5 rows. Hey, there you go. You're cutting 4 across, 5 rows, 20 decals at a time. You got an order for 100 decals. The awesome part about that is you can go to a school, you can go to a league and say, you know what? Sell 100 of these decals. Get it to a bunch of your students, get it to a bunch of the softball players or the baseball players. Have them go around and promote these and sell them. You get, let's just say you get 20 of them. So you get 20 of them to sell 5 each. So 20 of them at 5 each. Obviously you got 100 decals. You can give them a 50% discount and your margins are still huge. So you can tell that school or league that, hey, you're going to get $5 back for every one of these that you sell. If you sell 100 of them, they're going to make $500. It's ridiculous, okay? So something very easy. Now you're in with that school. You're in with that league. They made a lot of money. And now, hey, now it's time to introduce. We can do different shirts for you. We can make these shirts with our glitter vinyl. So all different types of things. That's, like I'm saying, that's your free ticket in. And you still make a lot of money on that, okay? So you're going to still make $473 on that deal and have next to nothing in cost, okay? Do you know if there's a copyright on school logos to be able to make their items and sell to parents? Joanna, there's a lot of stuff that goes around with that nowadays, with if it's a public school and you pay state taxes and things like that. They haven't really come to from what I've seen, an exact conclusion on what's able to do and what's not. Either way, I always go to the school and I don't try to go behind anybody's back at any time because it's going to come back and get you at the end of the day. So I always try to go to the school and do it legit and say, hey, my goal, and that's our goal, is to make you money, help the schools, help the students, help the teachers with having different supplies, or help the league. I mean, most of these are nonprofit little leagues and everything else that it's got a lot of volunteers. They have trouble raising money. My goal is to help you raise money, but of course, make me some money as well. Okay, where's the transfer tape on the TRW site to buy? Barb, I'm pretty sure the transfer tape, and Daniel's going to send you a link to that to go right to the transfer tape on the website. So I'm not sure if it's exactly under the FTC sign vinyl or if it's under accessories. So Daniel's going to check that real quick and let you know exactly where it is. Okay, and Daniel, if you could possibly send a push to everybody to where the transfer tape is.
Yeah, it's under accessories.
Okay, it is under accessories on the website. Okay. All right, so, now if those of you, I have a couple questions up here, but those of you who have been posting some questions as I've been going through all this signed vinyl stuff, if you could please repost those questions, because I saw a lot of them coming through, and believe me, I'm not trying to ignore any questions. It only shows about five questions at a time, so when a lot of you come through, it kind of loses some of them. When working with the new sports fonts with sizing, how is the best way to do them? Okay, Karen, great question. So many of you have seen the new different heat transfer vinyl sports fonts, and here's an example of one of them. So this is our baseball font, and these are the different numbers that we use. Very, very cool, all color separated, Truetype font. Type it out, hit the 2-color magic text, and bam, you got both your cut lines. Now, the thing you don't want to do, and you honestly, you can do it, just depending on what material you're using. So, the word Vassallo across the top here, I didn't do this in this Baseball Laces Truetype font, only because it's a little bit smaller. It's going to be a little bit harder to weed and see different areas. So, you don't have to always have it huge like this with the numbers, but I would recommend maybe, let me see if I have another sample of that in my book here. So, here we go. So maybe here I did football cyst design, and we used the football images with our football leather heat transfer vinyl. Again, awesome looking heat transfer vinyl with the football leather or white glitter, but you don't want to get real small. So would I recommend using one of those fonts if it's 1 inch tall by 10 inches wide? No, it's going to be a pain to weed it. So just know, it's just like any other design that you work with. You don't want to get real small if there's a good amount of detail in it, because it is going to be more difficult. And what we created those fonts for is for a lot of stuff like with high schools. If you do LRHS, or you do like we did with the CIS, or you do the big numbers or things like that. So it's made for a decent size design. You don't want to get real small. Is it possible? Yes. If you are using Easyweed, that's a lot easier to weed, then no problem. When you're using glitter or holographic that's a little bit thicker, a little bit more difficult to weed, then I wouldn't recommend anything too small like that. Okay? Let's see. I do a lot of toddler size designs with embroidery. At the last show in Philly, I met your team and decided to get into rhinestones. Is there an easy way to resize rhinestone templates down to 5x5? Shannon, I wish there was. So with rhinestones, you do have your limitations because it's all based on your stone size, okay? So what that means is if we create a design for you and it's in SS10s, the only real way to shrink that design and keep the exact same look is to, it's one button. You click SS6s, it'll drop it down to 6s, shrink it by 20 to 30%, somewhere in that range. But if you have a 10-inch design, to drop it down to 5 inches, you would honestly have to recreate the design. So that's where what you would want to do, Shannon, is off the start, if you're using Corel Draw and the TRW Stone Wizard, is obviously size it to exactly what you want. Something that small, you're probably going to have to use 6s if it has detail in it, where if it's an embroidered design, you're just adding some stones around the outside. Honestly, that would be pretty simple. You can drop some SS10s, do a quick contour, and get that multi-deck design with embroidery. I am moving to a shop. Do you have a good example of a display that would entice customers to add bling to their orders? What I would do, this is what works best at our shop, is to have samples. So as many of you know, we have our blank samples that we sell on the website now, our sample pages. So they come like this into you, one page at a time. You can get bulk pricing on the website. Very, very popular, and I like to share everything with you. So these right here are just some rings. You can see the logo's right on it. We got them from Staples. So I don't know how much they were, $3, $5, whatever they were. Just some simple rings, and with the rings, what we were able to do, and I can show you in this one right here, you just open the ring up, okay? So all I did was feed it through my 3 grommets that are on the sample pages, close that down, and the cool thing about it is we haven't done it yet, but you could actually create different books like we have right here. This is what we bring to the shows now. It isn't as heavy now. You can bring it to an event. And the cool thing is you can actually heat press your logo onto the front page here and call it whatever your business name is, sports booklet or whatever, sports samples, anything you want. Create almost a cover page for it or a book cover for it, and then they can flip through. And this is where, if you have actual physical customers that are coming in, whether it's a show, an event, anything else, this is how you're going to get them to add bling, is to show them. You can't show people rhinestones, as many of you know, on a computer screen. You have to get it to them and let them to be able to touch it, feel it, see it in the sun, see how it lights up, show them the glitter vinyl, show them the basketball leather and the football leather. That's what's going to get them excited about buying it and adding stones to the design. So anything you can show them. And again, the great thing about having this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages here. So 16 different designs we have in here. Well, this is a whole lot easier to carry around and show customers than having 16 different shirts, right? And that's the main reason why we created this. The sample pages are on the website. They're under the accessories as well, I'm almost positive. But Keisha, we can get you that link as well. Okay. Let's see. In the football design, did you overlay football or magic trap? I magic trapped the football in this one. So again, this one too, we did the magic trap with the white glitter and the football, because the football does have some texture on it, so we don't want to layer directly on top of it. We use the magic trap for that, Barb. Can you explain your vinyl price breaks at 15 to 29 feet? Is that within each particular specialty, or is it all specialties combined? Patty, it all depends on the vinyl, because for example, the glitter vinyl is more expensive, obviously, than the intermediate sign vinyl or the fluorescent vinyl. So you'll see it kind of as on the website, but a lot of people don't see that. When you're on the website, you'll see kind of like a broken page link where it's showing the pricing. If you click on that, it'll open it up more and show you different pricing categories, if there are. Okay? Matt, do you have any plans on creating an HTV Truetype font for wrestling images? Thomas, of course. I've seen your post, Thomas. I know you're on that. And Thomas, that's why I created, if you look on the Facebook page, hey, what image did I just post? And it's going to be the free design for what it is this afternoon. Did you see the wrestling mom design that I showed you? I know we're getting some requests for wrestling, so I'm all over that, buddy. Can the wizard at some point in the future remove stones as you shrink? That is, Sean, that is something we're looking at doing, is for it to be able to, if we shrink a design, to remove stones. The issue is sometimes if it's a detailed design and it removes stones, like for example, if it was, say, a 4-color design and there was 1 row of stones, as you shrink it, now a row of stones won't fit in that spot. So no matter what, the design's going to completely change. So it's really hard with stones, but again, it is something, all of your requests that come through, we definitely take all of those into account, and that's why we created what we did with the 2.1. is we take in everything that you guys give us. If it's something that's possible, we definitely look into it and work on it. So we love getting all of your requests. Let's see. When doing a football font, what part do you do first? Gia, it all depends on what you want to stand out more. So, for example, on this font right here, boom, this one right here, I wanted the outline of my white glitter to stand out more. So I actually pressed the football leather first and then the white glitter second, because I didn't want the football leather to trap over my glitter and it would have shrank my thickness of my outline right here. Does that make sense? And also what I like to do, the football leather, all of our fashion vinyls and patterns are a cold peel. So completely different than our glitter. I always like to try to press the cold peel items first and then the warm or hot peel items second, because then it traps that cold peel in there, so it's easy to pull off after. What gives those pages the stiffness, Tom? They actually have a material, like a cardboard type material inside it. So that's what allows them to not just obviously flop over. We want to be able to hold it up like this and it be able to stand out and look good. Kelly, are there certain percentage or decimal number I can use to enter for all stone sizes to equal Swarovski stones? Yes, the Swarovski stones are a little bit larger. So what I would do, Kelly, the easiest way to do this, and all stones can vary in size. Even though they're SS10 or 3 millimeter, they can vary. So what I would do to fix that issue that you're having is just do a little sample cut sheet with sticky flock and do 0.13 inches, 0.14, 0.15, 0.16, 0.17, 0.18, and just put a bunch of different ones in a small little square, just a scrap material, brush them in and see what circle they fall into best, and now you can change your custom settings on the TRW Stone Wizard to always go to whatever stones you're using. So for example, if you were using our stones, you could easily just click on and still have the 0.13 size saved in there. But if you're using Swarovski stones, then you can say, hey, and you can even name it Swarovski or whatever you want, click on that one, and then it stones it to that size. So pretty easy fix. That should help you out with that. Have you used foil before? We haven't used the foil too much. We've seen some at the different shows. We are looking into the foil, but haven't done anything yet with the foil. So, and I know a lot of screen printers do it, but it's also getting into the heat applied side as well. So that is something that we are currently looking into. What is the difference between the low lead and the AB stones? Completely different there, Joanna, with low lead and AB. All of our stones on our website are low lead, okay? So we only sell the top grade Korean 5A low lead rhinestones, okay? We completely discontinued all the Chinese stones. We also discontinued all of our lower quality of Korean stones. So Korean stones, you can have a 5A, a 4A, a 3A, a 2A, a 1A. So you might see a place that's offering Korean low lead stones at a fraction of the cost, but they're 1A or 2A or 3A stones, which aren't going to have the clarity and aren't going to have the even spread on the glue, and you may run into. So basically the way I look at it is the lower grade Korean stones, I look at them as Chinese stones because they don't have the quality of the top Korean stones. Now the AB stones, that's where you're going to get kind of the different color variations. So the crystal AB, when it hits different lights, it's going to get different spectrum colors to kind of jump out at you. So our AB stones are low lead as well, okay? Okay, let's see. Could you make it easy to add my own image as a mock-up? You're saying for the wizard, Becky, to be able to go ahead and add. Okay, so to do that, that is something you can currently do it. We are looking into an easier process because we want to be able to, basically the reason why is it has to be a specific size and it has to be, there's a lot of specifics involved in it, but that is something with a new update and the upgrade that we're looking into to try and make it as easy as possible for you to just basically go to a place, hit a save button, save it in a place, and it's done. Right now, it's a little bit more of a process. It is doable, but it is something that we're going to be able to do. And I will actually, what I'll do is I'll work on, I'm going to get it on my video list to create an updated video on that, because I see Michelle asked as well, to get an updated video to try and explain it as simple as possible for all of you to make it as easy as possible, okay? Now I saw something, FTC sign vinyl. How long before fading, regular, and glitter? Michelle, the FTC sign vinyl that we have, the intermediate sign vinyl I think has a 5-year life on it, and the glitter I think is a 3-year, okay? So there are different glitters that are out there. So for example, and I'm not sure how good you'll be able to see, can you see kind of the glitter sparkles in this blue right here? When I change it, can you see it right there? And I don't know if you're able to see, but it's cool looking. It isn't as glittery as, for example, our heat transfer vinyl. Here's the issue. This has the protectant on it. So this is going to, for example, if you use, for example, a sticky glitter product, and you put the sticky glitter out in the sun. Awesome to be able to use on computer laptops and things where it's not outside. But if you put pink heat transfer vinyl that has a sticky adhesive on the back window of your car, a week and that pink is now going to basically be white or silver, okay? With the glitter FTC sign vinyl, it's made to go outdoors, so you aren't going to have that issue. So it's going to stay glitter for you, okay? So fading wise, I think we're at a 3-year life with the glitter and a 5-year life with the intermediate. So either way, probably too long, because sometimes material is too good, because we want them to come back. And here's another hint for you guys. It works for me all the time. It's going to help you guys make money as well, okay? So this being on their car for 3 years, well, dang it. Now they aren't going to come back and buy another decal for 3 years, right? Because we made them an awesome product that's going to almost last too long. We want them to come back next year and buy another one. Well, here's kind of a solution to this. Is if they buy, and this is, I did this all the time. I don't think it's a bad thing, but what we would always try to do, especially even more importantly on shirts. So someone comes and they purchase something from you, and they want to do mom of whatever, mom of Jackson. So like I'm the baseball mom design that a lot of you have seen. It says I'm the baseball mom, and then it says of Jackson or of number 23. So you got two different options there. So I've seen a lot of our customers that will say, hey, you can do it with a custom name or a number. I always try to promote to do a number. Does anybody know why I try to promote and I try to get them to do a number instead of a name? Who's the first one to catch on to this? There you go. Thomas is all over it. Yep, Michelle's all over it. So the reason why I always try to do this is everybody's on it. Sweet, I love it. The reason why I always try to do numbers is numbers change. They're going to go to a different team next year, and there's no guarantee they're going to get number 26. So there's no guarantee they're going to get number 5. Chances are you're probably not going to change names. So we do see some names changing nowadays, but chances are my son Jackson is going to be Jackson next year. He better be, or else we're going to have some issues. But so the thing is, the whole point is, if they put I'm the baseball mom of Jackson, that's a shirt, hey, the stones aren't going to fall off. The heat transfer vinyl is going to stay there. They can wear that shirt for 4 years, 5 years, whatever they want. Well, if we put a number and customize it, or put a position that might change next year, or whatever it is, now they come back next year, man, I really loved your shirt, but Jackson's number 7 this year. He's not number 36. I need to get a new shirt. Hey, there you go. You just got yourself another sale. And if you do that with every shirt that you sell, that's a lot of extra sales coming back every single year. You gave them a great product. It lasts the full year for them. They showed all their friends and family and everything else, which got you more sales. And now they have to come back next year and get another because they have that custom number on there and their number changed. Because the thing is that mom's not going to want to wear a shirt or have a car decal on the back window of the car that says I'm the mom of number 7, and Johnny's not number 7 anymore, it's Freddie, and she's not Freddie's mom. Okay, so next questions. Do they have a thinner glitter material coming out? I have complaints with thinner materials, tried the non-glitter. Jamie, as far as you're talking heat transfer vinyl, Jamie? Or sign vinyl. The sign vinyl is very thin. Okay, Jamie's talking about heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl, because of the process they have to go through to get that real good glitter look, there's not really, what I always recommend is obviously, and the great thing is when you don't layer it on top of each other, it doesn't get double or triple thickness. But there's not really a whole lot. It's going to still have that little bit of thickness on it. So that's where, when you're doing your designs, try to get it to where it's not as filled of a design with all the glitter, then it doesn't get as bad, but there's not really a different solution for that right now. Hopefully, who knows, down the road with today's technology and everything, they might be able to get something that has a much softer feel, but that's basically every glitter heat transfer vinyl that you purchase anywhere. Are there any updates for Puma 3 to be able to cut from Corel X6 yet? from X6, Karen, you should be able to cut from X6, just not X7. So you're saying directly to be able to cut from the wizard. So with GCC, you should be able to cut from X6. So if you can't, unless maybe you have a very old version of Great Cuts and the macro that they've created doesn't work with that version. That would be my only guess. But after the webinar, give a call. Talk to Tyler or one of them at the call center, and they'll be able to at least take a look into that for you, because we cut with our Jaguar and our Expert 24s and our Puma with X6 already. Okay, yeah, give a call and we'll check it out for you. Is there a way to put the calculator into the wizard so you can figure out pricing? Tiffany, that is something that Tiffany's asking, if there's a way for the wizard to calculate your costs for you. That is something that we already are in the process of doing. So that is something that will be coming out with an upgrade for the wizard once we get that done. Right now, obviously, we have the pricing calculator that does a lot, but it's going to be a pretty elaborate feature that we're going to have with all the ideas that we have with that. So that is currently something that we are working on, Tiffany. What do I start with for cutting stone, single cut or Thomas? I would always recommend dropping your downfall. Thomas, what vinyl cutter do you have? Thomas asked, would he recommend a single cut or a TRW overcut or the 2+ magic cuts? Thomas has a Roland GX24. Okay, Thomas, the main reason why we created it was for the GX24. In Cut Studio, it doesn't give you that option. Thomas, I would go with the 2+ magic cuts. You should, if you have your settings right, you're using a 60 or 65 degree blade, you should be getting perfect weeds with that. So definitely 2+ magic cuts, find your good settings.